All right, let's get right into it. We tend to think we know what valuable skills look like. The stuff you can list on a resume. But what if the most powerful skills, the real game changers, are the ones that are hiding in plain sight? The ones we just assume everyone has.
Seriously, what if the one thing that truly sets you apart is something you don't even see as a skill? Something so natural to you that you don't even think about it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
So, we are going to explore 10 abilities that look on the surface totally basic, but when you dig a little deeper, you realize they're actually superpowers. These are the skills that are quietly running the show, shaping our careers, our relationships, pretty much everything.
First up, let's talk about the absolute bedrock of human interaction: communication. Sounds simple, right? But achieving real, honest to goodness clarity, that's one of the hardest things in the world.
You see, the ability to explain things clearly is incredibly rare, and it's mostly because of this wild psychological glitch called the curse of knowledge. The second you truly understand something, your brain rewires itself, and you literally can't remember what it was like not to know it. It's why so many brilliant experts are just awful teachers. If you can actually bridge that gap for someone else, you have a skill that is worth a fortune.
And that brings us to the flip side: listening. Most of us, if we're being honest, are just performing listening. We're not really absorbing what the other person is saying. We're just waiting for a pause so we can jump in with our own reply. But real listening, the kind therapists and hostage negotiators use, is about shutting down your own internal monologue to follow their train of thought. It's about being comfortable with the silence. That is so rare.
Oh, and then there's giving negative feedback. Wow. This one is a total minefield. Most people go one of two ways. They either avoid it completely and let problems get worse, or they come in like a wrecking ball and just make the other person defensive. The real skill is finding that razor's edge, being honest without being cruel, and criticizing the action, not the person. It's a massive sign of high emotional intelligence. Now, all these communication skills, they're really built on top of something even deeper. Let's call them skills of character. This is the stuff that decides whether people can actually trust and rely on you. Think about this. How hard is it to just say the words, "I was wrong"? For most of us, it feels almost impossible. And there's a reason for it. It's called the backfire effect. Our brains treat evidence that we're wrong like a physical threat, so we don't just ignore it, we often double down on our wrong belief. So, admitting you're wrong isn't weakness, it's a huge act of courage, overriding your brain's most basic survival instincts. This leads right into another incredibly rare skill: giving a real apology. See, a genuine apology isn't just saying sorry. It's a specific formula. It means taking total, unconditional responsibility. No excuses, no buts. You have to name what you did and acknowledge exactly how it impacted the other person. And the reason a real apology is so uncommon is because we're swimming in a sea of fake ones. You hear these all the time, right? They're designed to sound like an apology, but they're actually shifting blame or making the other person's feelings seem invalid. A clean apology that actually fixes things, that's a superpower. And what about just being on time? It seems so simple, but being consistently punctual isn't a personality trait. It's actually a four-step system. And the thing is, most of us fail at least one of these steps. That's why that one person you know who is always on time seems like they're some kind of wizard. They're just good at the system. Okay, let's turn inward now. In a world that is literally designed to distract you, the ability to actually control your own mind and your own focus, well, that's becoming the ultimate competitive advantage. Just picture a crisis situation. The default human response is to panic. Your adrenaline spikes, your thinking gets real narrow. But the person who can stay calm, they're operating on a different level. They can still access the logical, problem-solving parts of their brain while everyone else is running on pure instinct. Calm isn't the absence of fear, it's having clarity under pressure. And this same idea applies to learning something difficult. Most of us, when we hit a wall of confusion, like reading a dense report or a complicated book, we just give up. The real skill here is being able to tolerate that uncomfortable feeling of, "I don't get this," and to just keep pushing forward, trusting that you will figure it out. It's a kind of mental endurance. So let's talk about the number one enemy of focus in our modern world. The average person right now checks their phone every 12 minutes. Let that sink in. Just 12 minutes between interruptions. Our attention is basically being chopped up into tiny little pieces all day long. And here's why that number is so devastating. Research shows it can take more than 20 minutes to get back into a state of deep focus after just one single interruption. So, if you're getting interrupted every 12 minutes, you can do the math. You are literally never reaching a state of deep work. Ever. The result of this is pretty staggering. A few hours of true, focused, uninterrupted deep work can produce way more than a full 8-hour day of scattered, distracted effort. The ability to create and defend those blocks of focus time is easily one of the most valuable professional skills you can have today. So, we've talked about communication, character, and focus. All huge. But the number one, rarest, and maybe most valuable common skill of all is something else entirely. This is it. Not making friends, that's the easy part. It's keeping them. We're talking across decades, through job changes, moves, marriages, kids, all of it. So why is this so incredibly hard to do? It's because we're fighting against a fundamental law of the universe. Life just gets in the way. People get busy. And without active, consistent effort, any friendship will just slowly fade away. It's entropy. And it's not personal. It's just physics playing out in our relationships. This means that people who have those amazing lifelong friendships, they didn't just get lucky. No way. They did the work. They're the ones who sent the random text, who made the call, who remembered the little details. They consistently and deliberately fought against that natural decay of time and distance. It's a quiet, unglamorous skill for sure, but it might just be the one that pays the biggest dividends in a happy life. Look, none of these skills are ever going to show up on a resume, but they are the things that really define the quality of our work, our relationships, and our lives. So as we wrap this up, just ask yourself, which of these superpowers have you been using this whole time without even realizing it?